Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about insomnia while you're going through a Kundalini awakening or a spiritual awakening. Insomnia is also something that you can experience when you're dealing with lots of anxiety, lots of restless energy. The way I wanted to go about this is I'm just going to share my experiences with insomnia after my Kundalini awakened inside of me, and I hope that by sharing like what I went through and the things I did to try to work through it, that maybe that can bring some clarity and bring some insight for any of you going through something similar. And I know that there are a lot of you that are going through this. It's a very difficult thing. The first thing I want to talk about, the first real story I want to share, is when I was living alone in Spokane, Washington. Some of the darkest, some of the more confusing times, but also some of the crazy highs as well. This was a real roller coaster in my journey. And this was I moved there about a year ago and stayed for about 5 months, a little over a year ago. So it was about a year ago when this was happening. I would get crazy, like I would go through these times where I'd have so much crazy, like feeling like electric burning energy in my head, and I would just not be able to sleep. I would have so much energy going through my body, I would not be able to sleep, and maybe I could sleep for like 20 minutes at a time, but every 20 minutes to a half hour I would wake up drenched in sweat. And this was so frustrating because at the time I was really trying to get my life together. I was trying to find a job, and I remember one week distinctly when I was sleeping 30 minutes at a stretch at the most, waking up just poured in sweat, just like with shaking and pulsations going on everywhere, and lots of fear coming up, and just living alone and just being like, wow, what is this? And I felt like I was losing my mind because I wasn't getting any sleep. So I would wake up exhausted, and it would just drive me fucking insane. Like, I remember just this feeling of just so much rage because I was so damn tired. My mind was tired, my body was tired, but the energy just persisted and it would not let me sleep. And even when I did sleep, it was just like thrashing and moving and just sweat, and like I would just wake up, or I'd wake up cold or way too hot, and I'd be waking up at crazy times and sleeping at crazy times, and like sleeping a few hours during the day and then just being up all night. And I remember one morning, I remember it very distinctly, waking up at 4 in the morning or something after not really having slept, and just having this feeling of panic, just sheer panic come over me because I felt so at the end of my rope, so burnt out that I broke. I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I can't not sleep anymore, and I just resisted it, and I can almost feel it, like that energy I had then. It was just like, fuck this, I hate this. Why did I choose this? What is this? And I remember in a panic just getting in my car and driving to Walgreens, and I haven't taken a pill in like over 2 years, or any drugs, anything really. But in that moment, I was so desperate. I was so pissed, and I was just so strung out and like on the verge of just a psychotic break, it felt like. I drove to Walgreens and I got melatonin, pretty tame pill, but for me it was a big deal. Like, I was ready to just indulge. Needed to sleep, And I remember driving back and walking in my apartment and unwrapping the melatonin, and something in me just said, just surrender, just open to this too, just allow, just let go into this horrible, horrible, awful feeling that you have coming over you right now. Go be with this. Go be with this fully. And I just had this like something in me, something deep within me was just like, you're not quitting now. You know, this is not where it ends. And I had these, you know, I'll be honest with you guys. I was so fucking strung out and tired and like out of my mind, just feeling like kind of crazy. Like I hadn't really slept in a week. I was deeply suicidal in this moment. Like I just wanted out, you know, I felt so trapped. I felt so damn trapped in this horrible vibration of tiredness and just it was like this gross vibration, you know? And I just was like, something in me was like, go into this. Go be with this. Go surrender to this vibration. Stop fighting this. And I just put the pills down. I didn't take any. And I remember this so distinctly. I went and laid down and I just like spread out fully, just closed my eyes. And I just finally went into one of the more deeper places, deeper states of surrender that I've ever went to. And it was bizarre. What happened was, I don't think I didn't sleep, but 4 hours went by like that. Like it could have been 4 minutes. Before I knew it, it was like 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning. And like I said, I don't feel like I slept, but I went so deep into this, you could call it a meditation, but really I just like let go finally. And I just kind of, something broke in me and I just like sunk so deep into the vibrations of these gross vibrations. It's like almost like I merged with them and I just stopped trying to make them separate from me, and it just became one thing. And I woke up at 8 and I felt rested. It was like this, it was like a miracle. Given the week I just went through, and the breaking point I was just at, like I was just ready to end it. I just wanted out, you know, I was done with it. I was tapped out. I was broken, you know, I don't know. It was something deep inside of me came to the surface and guided me to like, you know what, just let go, just surrender, stop fighting this, stop making a story out of this, and just go deep within and open to this, whatever that, it was just this horrible feeling. And like I said, I woke up at 8 feeling pretty rested and like out of that psychotic state that like made me want to like kill myself or just drive off a fucking bridge, you know? Like, oh, it was horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. One of the darkest moments of this whole awakening, for sure. I just still remember waking up at 4 a.m. just feeling so trapped and just wanting to scream and just get out of it, you know? And so I know this insomnia, I know this not sleeping and how it can make you feel crazy. And I was scared of that happening for a long time after. But every time I'd feel that fear come up, I'd also have this knowing that, oh, but I did go through it because I surrendered into it. I deeply, deeply surrendered because I was forced to. I was out of moves. And that's what you'll realize. You're going to come to a place many times in this awakening, whether it's insomnia, anxiety, anything, fear, where you're just going to run out of moves. And the only thing left is going to be forward, into it, surrender, let go. And that's what happened to me. And these things it gets into these places where it's hard to explain what happens, but the best way I can put it into words if you're going through insomnia is just to surrender to it, to let it be, to stop identifying with the mind that's probably going crazy over it, and to stop resisting this uneasiness, this anxiety, this panic. For me, it was just sheer panic. And just to come to that place that's so deep inside of you, that has this deep, deep knowing, it has this deep peace. And just to reside there and allow everything to happen as it wants to, allow all the energy to play out. And just to really open to it, you know? And that's you know, I always leave these videos thinking, I only said it about 60% of the way I wanted to say it, you know? And a lot of this is just something that, it's a feeling, you know? Words can only take us so far. But I have been getting questions about insomnia and people, you know, fearing it and you know, not knowing how to get through it. And it's just like, this is a big one, because, you know, not getting sleep, for whether you're awakening or not, like it's rough. It's a rough road. It's a tough thing to deal with. It can bring about all types of mental challenges, physical challenges, and I think that's the purpose of it. I think sometimes this path, whether you're having a Kundalini awakening or just spiritual awakening or just life and God in general, will bring you to your breaking point, to where you can't take it for another second. I've had many of those moments, but those are the moments where my biggest breakthroughs have happened. Those are the moments that have made me realize how free I am, because I can truly go through anything. You know, this path has been, if you've listened or read any of my story, you've seen how dark it's been. But going through that darkness and making it to the other side has really proven to me how powerful I am, how strong I am, how unharmable I am. But it's also proven to me how free I am, that no vibration, whether it's lack of sleep or fear, anxiety, anger, sadness, depression, no vibration, no energy, no feeling can control me, can have power over me. Nothing external can have power over me. And that's what you're being, you know, that's the gift within this, is when you get through this, you're going to get through it. Of course you are. And when you do, you're going to have that confidence inside, like, oh shit, I got through that, and that took me to the brink, you know. In my case especially, it took me to the brink. And after that now, I still will have sleeping issues, so I'll wake up at weird times, but I just roll with it now, you know. I just like, okay, this is what life is bringing me. And that's the other thing. Let go of your expectations and your wantingness and your desires for how much sleep you should get and what time you should go to bed and wake up. No, that's all gotta go. If you're on the spiritual path, you will sleep when life wants you to sleep, is the best way I can put it. When your body wants to sleep, you're going to sleep. And when life wants you up, be up. And it doesn't matter when, and stop trying to control that so much. And that's what I've had to learn, is I've had to just deeply, deeply surrender to, hey, I'm up at 5:30 today. Well, let's just roll. Let's move with this energy. I need to go to bed at 8 tonight. All right, that's great. I don't put really strict requirements on when I'm sleeping, because if I did, it would stress me out. And I used to, and it did stress me out so much. And that's another layer of it. We don't want to be adding stress to this. We just want to be going, allow, I mean, it's not like you don't even have to allow it. It's just going to happen. The Kundalini, if it's awakened within you, the spiritual energy, it's going to dictate a lot. It's going to dictate what you eat, where your hours you're sleeping, what kind of jobs you can work, the people you can be around, the environments you can be in, you know what I mean? And sleep is such a big one that to try to fight it, to try to like struggle with it, and to have your ego try to tell you when you're going to sleep, it's just going to kind of blow up in your face. And it's not going to end well, and you're going to really just fight, but you're never going to win that fight. You're going to lose, and you're going to have to surrender. And instead of going through that, just surrender. Just let it happen, and you'll realize it works really well. And you don't have to stress. And when you need to be up for things, you'll be up. When you really need to sleep, you will sleep. Life will take care of you and support you. And sometimes life supporting you and taking care of you means taking you to the edge, to where you can't take it for one more second. Because in those moments, you learn surrender. You learn trust, and you learn to let go of what you think you need. Whether it's, I need 8 hours of sleep. No, probably you don't. You'll get it some nights, but I can tell you, a lot of nights I don't, and it's fine. That's, who dictated that to us, you know? Especially if we've got all this energy coursing through us, you probably don't need 8 hours of sleep. So just let go of these things, you know? And just accept and just open to what life is bringing you, while letting go of all your expectations and wantingness and cravings and desires. It's just going to make this insomnia so much easier to deal with, put so much less pressure on yourself. And it's just going to, you know, it's just going to make this whole, it's a tough thing to get through, I know. And sometimes it's just going to be hard. And that's there's really not, there was no easy way out for me, truthfully. I had to be taken to where I was taken. It couldn't have happened any other way for me. And it probably isn't going to be able to happen any other way for you too. And that's another thing we have to accept on this path is sometimes we just have to be taken to the fucking brink. And it's just it's gonna strengthen us. And like I said, it's gonna give us all this freedom and we're gonna know our own power because of it, but it's gonna be really hard. And that's okay. This path is hard. Welcome to the ascension. Welcome to ascending. Welcome to waking up. That's kind of the whole. That's the purpose, is to show us how strong we are in a lot of these, these struggles we're having. But I also wrote a really good blog about this called something like Kundalini and hormones and surrendering. It has a lot about insomnia. It has a lot of really good yoga practices to do if your sleeping schedule's off, if you're not getting the rest. Because a lot of yin yoga is actually restorative. And they say like 15 minutes in a yin yoga pose in certain ones that I post in the blog, 15 minutes in certain yin yoga poses is equivalent to just like several hours of sleep. So really, I'm going to post that below. Look at that and see if that helps too. So I just wanted to share a personal, my personal experiences with this, and just like, this is where the rubber hits the road a lot of the time. There's no magical answer or cure. It's just like, this is where you learn surrender. And I hope this resonates with you guys. I hope this helps. I appreciate all the emails that you guys send me. It really is so rewarding and humbling, and I appreciate all the engagement, and like I always say, it just makes this path so much more just joyful and alive. I just love it so much. So thank you guys for everything. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Namaste.